All right, you guys, so today we're going to be installing a carbon fiber steering wheel on this 8th gen Honda Civic. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and disconnect the battery because we don't want the airbag to go off when we're disconnecting everything, right? So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Let me pop up the hood. I'm recording myself, so it's going to be difficult. I have to keep putting the phone down and then recording again. So give me a sec. All right, you guys, so we went ahead and disconnected the battery using a 10 millimeter. The reason why we disconnect the battery again is because when you disconnect the airbag, if you don't disconnect the battery, it's gonna blow up in your face. So we don't want that. So we went ahead and disconnected that. So now let's go to the steering wheel. All right, guys, so let's get started. So there's gonna be a bolt on this side and a bolt on the other side in the exact same spot. And we're gonna use a T30. This is what it looks like. It's like a weird star shape. And we're gonna go ahead and remove the bolt and we'll show you what the bolt looks like as well. As you can see it in there, look at that. All right, guys, so now after removing the screws on both sides, we're gonna go ahead and move this forward gently, right? And then we're gonna go ahead and disconnect that blue cable. We should leave that towards the end. First, you're gonna disconnect that yellow one, the yellow clip right there, and then this black and black cable right there, okay? So we're gonna disconnect those two, and then we're gonna disconnect that blue one last, because this is what's holding the airbag in, right? So carefully remove all those cables without breaking the wires. Obviously, you do not want to break anything, so do it and take your time, okay? So let me go ahead and do that because, again, I'm recording by myself. So let me go ahead and do this. All right, you guys, here we go again. So just showing you the cables that I disconnected. That yellow one and that one that's wrapped in red or black, depends on how they wrapped it. So disconnected it. So for the yellow one, just to make sure that you guys know, you're gonna pull this back, this black lever. You see how it cocks back? You're gonna cock it back before you disconnect it, because if you just try to pull it, you're probably gonna rip something. So remember, you have to cock this this black thing back, and it releases, right? So while you're pulling on the other one, make sure you're pulling this back as well. And then for this one, you're gonna see that there's also a clip right here. You push it in, and then you pull out the clip that was in there. So push in and unplug. And now we're gonna do this one. This one's this easier one. You're just gonna go ahead and press on it and then pull back. Okay, you guys, so now after everything's been disconnected, we're gonna go ahead on. You're gonna take it off the grooves. You see that there's small clips. This was all clipped on there, so you're gonna remove it as well. Just be careful. And now you're gonna use a 14 millimeter hex, and you're gonna go ahead and unscrew that. Sorry, I'm aired out, you guys. It's hot in here. So let me go ahead and remove that, and I'll show you guys right now. All right, you guys, so we went ahead and disconnected all the little cables, right? Everything's disconnected. And now we're gonna remove this. But before you remove this, make sure that your steering wheel is aligned and straight, right? Because once you remove this, you know, you don't want your steering wheel to be sideways, and then you're gonna install the steering wheel straight, and you're gonna have a crooked steering wheel, okay? So do it right the first time. Make sure that it's aligned and centered properly. Now we're gonna go ahead and remove this, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like after. We're gonna just pull out and remove. All right, you guys, so we went ahead and removed the screw. This is what it looks like in the center. So some steering wheels do require a wheel puller, and I'll show you that in a second. Some people just pull them out, but to me, that's sketchy and scary, especially like, let's say for example, one of these cables just gets tangled up somewhere in here, you know, or you maybe forgot, and when you pull the steering wheel, you're gonna rip it off, right? So I recommend not doing that. So we're gonna use a wheel puller. So we're gonna put this back on there, not tight. We're just gonna put it, you know, just all the way in until it's, you know, until it's secure on there, and we can still remove it by hand. And technically we're gonna put this, right? There's a wheel puller. So this pointed piece is gonna be on top of that screw. And then we're gonna line these open holes right there to these right here. If you see, there's one right there and then one right there. And what that's gonna do, it's gonna put pressure on this to pull the steering wheel out, right? So as these screws are pulling out, the screw is pushing this in, so causing, you know, momentum to pull it out. And I'll show you guys the kit real quick that I got. So give me 1 second and let me go ahead and remove this so that way I can show you guys. All right, guys, so let me show you real quick how it looks. Sorry if I blocked the light, but so we've already installed these screws that come with the wheel puller. It's gonna go like this. So now we're gonna screw this in like this until we get to the center of that screw, right? And once we get to the center, hand tight, right? Like that, or something. Let's see, a little bit more. So once we get to the center, right? You're gonna use the 14 millimeter that you were using to tighten this up, to continue tightening it, and it's gonna be pulling the wheel out at the same time. All right, so give me a second while I go ahead and do that. All right, guys, so there you go. We went ahead and loosened the steering wheel. You see it's floppy. So now we're gonna fully remove this bolt right here. Obviously, when you're using the wheel puller, you wanna leave a gap open. You know, you don't wanna put the screw all the way in, because then the steering wheel is not gonna pull out because you tightened it all the way down, right? So you wanna make sure that you leave a gap back there behind the screw, so that way the wheel could pop off. So we're gonna go ahead, let me remove this real quick. So now we're gonna remove all these screws right here, right? Because we're gonna reuse them for this steering wheel. We're gonna swap them all out. So whatever you see bolted on here, you're gonna bolt it on over there. Your screws for your buttons should be in the back as well. You're gonna remove this casing. So I think there's, let me see. All right, guys, so after removing those screws, the backing comes off. And now we're gonna go ahead and keep removing screws for the buttons right there. And then we're just gonna swap everything over. That's it. We're almost there, halfway done. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, guys, so we went ahead and put the backing on. And when you guys are screwing these on, remember, keep in mind that these things are plastic, right? So you don't wanna over tighten. So just hand tighten lightly. And as you can see, we put everything back. There you go, all the screws are back on. Again, do not over tighten. And also don't handle the steering wheel, because, or at least the fabric, because remember, you have dirty hands from removing your steering wheel. You don't want to get your steering wheel dirty off the back. So what I'm doing is just grabbing it from the carbon fiber, you know, dusting off my hands, grabbing from the carbon fiber. And now we're just gonna go ahead and do everything that we did, but backwards. We're gonna put this back on right now, and let me show you guys real quick. All right, guys, so as you see, we put the nut back. We also clipped this back on there, right? And then we also fed the wire through this, through the steering wheel, put the cables on through here, put the yellow one in the back, put this one in the front. And you see this little dab right here, you'll see where the clip actually goes in here, and it should align with that. We're gonna go ahead and remove this plastic piece that's behind the steering wheel, and then we're gonna feed that yellow clip in through this side right here, from underneath the steering wheel. So that's how you clip that one back on. So let me go ahead and put the airbag back in, and we're gonna connect everything right now. Give me 1 second, we're almost done. All right, guys, so after removing that piece, this piece that goes right here, we were able to clip this back on. And remember, when you connect this back, that you hear the click, right? So that you know your airbag's working again. So now we're just gonna go ahead and put that piece back on. Let me show you guys real quick. This is what it looks like. We're gonna go ahead and put this on. I can't do it one-handed, I don't think. No, because I'm upside down. And so I'm gonna go ahead and put that back. I also put only the side screw that we took off, the T10, or the T30, I mean. I put one of them on so that way, you know, I could, you know, hold the airbag while I'm moving around the cables, right? And just in case that, you know, the wire wasn't feeding properly, I would just have to remove one instead of both sides, right? So now we're just gonna go ahead and tighten this one up, and then we're gonna put the other one as well. And we're done, you guys. So I'll show you guys right now the finish, how it looks all finished. All right, give me 1 second. And of course, lastly, you guys, reconnect your battery. And then right now we're gonna go off into the road so we can get better lighting and show you guys the steering wheel. I'm gonna put gloves on so I don't dirty my steering wheel. All right, guys, so finally we stopped on the side of the road. We're just driving around, getting the feel for it, and it feels so amazing. This fabric is, oh man, so soft. But yes, I'm in love with the steering wheel right now, you guys. Definitely need to get a rebadge on there, because that one's ugly. But again, you guys, for me, this was an easy install. But I do recommend other people that haven't installed something like this to this difficulty, probably get it professionally done. The steps should be almost the same for any year Honda.
is just, you know, almost like reverse engineering. You take something off and you put it back on the same way you took it off. So it was easy. It looks beautiful. And again, thank you for anybody watching this instruction video. This is on my 8th gen Honda Civic. I also sell carbon fiber steering wheels for 9th gen Honda. So we're looking to getting the 11th gens in. So we're just waiting on that. But yeah, there you go, you guys. Turned out beautiful.